What is up YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. Today, we're using the Mega Kangaskhan team once again with Mega Kangaskhan Volcorona, Tapu Fini, Kartana, Thunderous Incarnate, and Landers Fan. Let's get started and play some games. So, I don't know. Have you ever experienced during summer, like the heat gets to you and you just end up feeling tired all day? That's basically what's happening to me. I'm feeling extremely tired right now, but I do want to record. It's pretty late in the evening when I'm recording, so I do want to record and I do want to upload, so I am going to be recording no matter what. But anyway, what else do I have to say? Also the fact, as we find our first opponent, Kaizen VGC. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. 15-16 rating with the team of Zapdos, Amoonguss, Suicune, Tyranitar, Tapu Lele, and Incineroar. Interesting to see the Suicune, not a Pokemon we tend to see that often. So what do I like in this matchup? I really like Kartana. I think Kartana is fantastic in this matchup if I play it correctly. I do like Kang Volk as a lead decently. I do think Kang Volk is pretty good here actually because of the fact I'll be able to have Fake Out Pressure, Firium for the Amoonguss, which seems pretty good. I actually really like that. I am worried a little bit about the Lele. Is Fini good here? I think Fini's pretty good here, but I do like Landers as well. The Intimidate seems pretty useful. Having Misty Terrain would also be really nice. I think I'm gonna go Kangaskhan Volcorona though. I think Kangaskhan Volcorona. I think Landers and Kartana is good enough to have in the back because I do like having Landers for that Intimidate option, and I like having Kartana because Kartana does pretty well against my opponent's team if I just get rid of my opponent's Zapdos. So prioritizing the Zapdos is pretty important. Not letting Tyranitar set up for free is also pretty important. And the Kings, I guess the main question is going to be that Tapu Lele. That Tapu Lele is going to be quite problematic to deal with, but we'll see. I don't think my opponent leads it, but it's actually going to be the Suicune Tapu Lele, so I could have led like Kartana. This is like the only situation I would have actually loved to bring Fini in. I don't think it's too bad of a situation, but it's definitely not the best one here. Especially if that's a timid Z-move Lele, I'm in a lot of trouble. So what can I do as my options? I can't Fake Out right here. Maybe I should have just let Kartana, but I really thought Zapdos would be leading here. I don't really need Landers. I could sack Landers off. I don't know if my opponent's going to throw out the Z-move turn on, which is an option. I think I'm going to try to Quiver Dance right here and just Double Edge the Lele, because I think Double Edge should get a Lele if it's non-bulky, but we're actually going to see the Lele switch out into the Incineroar, which is an interesting switch. I don't think I really mind that too much. It looks like my opponent doesn't want to risk me being like jolly or timid and doesn't want to take maybe a Z-move from Volcarona if I'm max speed, which I'll gladly take here because I think that's actually really solid for me as I will be able to get this Mega Evolution off. I'll be able to get chip damage onto the Incineroar, which is already pretty nice. And Suicune probably just going to go for a Tailwind, I would assume. Snarl, I guess, could be an option, or Scald. But I think Tailwind, that is Suicune's primary role, unless it's a Calm Mindset, which would be interesting. Double Edge will come out into the Incineroar here. Do some decent damage here. It does about 50%, which is actually pretty good. And Icy Wind, actually, so not even Tailwind, just going to go for the Icy Wind. I do not mind that trade at all. That means my opponent isn't really gaining a huge speed advantage if I just switch out properly. So, yeah, I do not mind that at all. I think I actually just get a free switch in the Landers here. I don't really mind Icy Wind because it's not doing too much damage. A double up in the Landers, I guess, could be bad if you go for the knockoff Icy Wind expecting it, but I don't think that would be too bad for me. Icy Wind's a really interesting option here instead of the Tailwind immediately, so I am okay with that. I'll just protect here. I don't want to take a Flare Blitz, which is the main reason why I do want to protect here. I know my opponent can't go for Fake Out right here because of the fact that there is a Psychic Terrain up. We'll get Intimidate off. Fini might have actually been a pretty good switch in here, but I think Landers is just as okay as well. So we'll protect our Volcarona right here. We'll see what my opponent wants to do here, as it will be a Flare Blitz coming out into the Kangaskhan slot, which I do not mind. That means you're taking chip damage, which means you're going to be put in the potential low kick or double edge range. We're going to see the Roar actually come out from Suicune. Okay. So Roar on Suicune instead, huh? and Kartana comes out, which actually isn't too bad for me because now I could probably just fire off a... I get Earthquake Leaf Blade right here. Suicunes don't usually tend to carry Protect, especially since we saw Roar. I could probably just get a knockout onto the Suicune slot. Or I could just Rock Slide Leaf Blade. I think that works too, but I could see Incineroar switching out. Yeah, I think Rock Slide plus Leaf Blade might be able to knock out Suicune. I don't know. Suicune's a pretty bulky Pokemon, but I'd rather get the damage off into Suicune right now. The damage is pretty nice onto the Suicune. We are going to see Incineroar switch out because it doesn't want to get knocked out yet. Zapdos is going to come out, which isn't exactly a Rock Slide switching, so I'm pretty happy about this turn, especially since I probably will be able to get rid of my opponent's Suicune, as we see the Psychic Seed from the Zapdos. Okay. A Suicune actually reveals to Protect. Huh. Okay. Fire off a Rock Slide here into the Zapdos. This should do probably about 50%, I would assume. Ah, that does a lot less. The Leaf Blade. I would assume Zapdos does carry Heat Wave. That would be the only... I can only see the Zapdos carrying Heat Wave. I think Suicune's going to switch out in Incineroar. Makes the most sense to me. And Zapdos fires off a Heat Wave or a Tailwind right here. I'm thinking of either double switching here or just staying in to click Rock Slide and just switch out into Kangaskhan. Because I definitely don't want to take a Heat Wave. Damage on Zapdos is nice. You know what? Let's just Rock Slide here and go on a Kang. I did want the Intimidate earlier, but if I get rid of the Incineroar instead of the trade, I think that's definitely worth it here. So let's see what my opponent's going to do. It's going to be the Suicune switching out an Incineroar. I could have seen Zapdos switching out an Incineroar, but I don't think you want to risk a potential Leaf Blade crit into the Suicune, which would cost you very dearly. So Incineroar is going to come out for my opponent very safe switching, because I will be able to Rock Slide. So wait, Icy Wind, Roar, Protect. Oh no, Tailwind on the Suicune. Probably Scald as the last move. Get decent damage onto Zapdos. We will see the Berry activate on Incineroar. And let's see what the Zapdos is going to go for. Is it going to be that Tailwind? Are we finally going to see Tailwind? We do finally see Tailwind. And I think that is pretty okay for me, because now I could go for a Fake Out Rock Slide combination into the Zapdos and be able to pick up the knockout. Onto that Zapdos. Pressuring Zapdos seems pretty good to me, although I could see Zapdos switching out right here. And maybe a Flare Blitz. I don't think Zapdos should stay in. Fake Out's really obvious in the Zapdos. I could probably get rid of the Incineroar here, but I don't want my opponent to... It might be worth getting rid of the Incineroar actually here. Zapdos should switch out, unless my opponent thinks Zapdos' job is done, but I don't think Zapdos' job is done here, as we do see the switch out in the Suicune. I thought of double edging there, this Suicune, but I felt like damage on the Incineroar is better in my position. If it was Lele, double edge was definitely worth it, but I had a feeling Suicune would come in, because you don't want to risk Lele potentially. So I'll get Volcorona in. I don't mind Volcorona taking damage at this point in the game. Zapdos is in range of the Rock Slide. We're going to see the knockoff actually, not even the Flare Blitz, so... Wow, that still does a lot, as we do get the low kick off into the Incineroar, which doesn't pick up the knockout, but that's still good damage. I know Double Edge probably could have picked up the knockout, but I don't mind having this little extra. Because now I direct him a Sucker Punch into the Incineroar slot, which I don't think is too bad. I wonder if Incineroar would switch out is my question. Let me see, there are 2 turns of Talon left for my opponent. I want to position it so I can get Landis in next to Kartana, and that should allow me to seal up the game by endgame Rock Slide plus Leaf Blade. I think it's worth going for Quiver Dance here. And Sucker Punch and Incineroar. Even if Incineroar switches out, I don't think that's too bad for me, because, again, it is in range of Rock Slide. Sucker Punch does come out into the Incineroar. Actually doesn't pick up the knockout, wow. That's a misplay on my part. Scald going to come out into Kangaskhan. I think this is a double up into Kangaskhan then. If it's a double up into Kangaskhan, I do not mind. It does look like it's going to be a double up, so I guess that's not too bad. Especially since Kangaskhan survives, actually. Okay, sweet. Gonna see the Incineroar drop here, as I will be able to get a Quiver Dance out. That's pretty big here. Because I didn't think my opponent would target down to Volcorona, because it was a bit obvious. And even if I lost Volcorona, I don't feel like it would have been the end of the world. Because Incineroar most likely would have went down there if you had to double target my Kangaskhan, or it wouldn't have been on the field. So I could have got free switch into Kartana there, which is exactly what I wanted. But this works out beautifully as well. We're going to see the Zapdos come out, which is okay as well. Because I could probably just aggressively double target the Zapdos with a Flamethrower plus a Double Edge. I'm not sure if Snarl will knock out Kangaskhan. Do I have Quiver Dance right here? Quiver Dance might not be a bad play either. Although I think getting rid of Zapdos is better. I think I'm just going to Flamethrower to Zapdos and Double Edge to Zapdos. Because even if you double up Volcarona, it's not too bad for me. You need to double up in order to pick up the knockout Volcarona. We are going to see the Roost come out from the Zapdos, which is fine. Actually, wait. Your Suicune doesn't have Snarl. It has Scald and Icy Wind. So, Flamethrower going to come out into the Zapdos from the Volcarona. Almost picks up the knockout. We will see an Icy Wind come out, which will... Does it knock out Kang? No, it doesn't even knock out Kang. I live on 1 HP. This bulky Kangaskhan spread putting in a ton of work here, as I will be able to get a double edge off and knock out the Zapdos. And now I'm in, I guess, still an interesting spot. Although I think I'm still pretty good, because I think I can bring out Kartana and probably click Smart Strike and Giga Drain. Yeah, I'll go into my Kartana here, and I think I'll Smart Strike and I'll Quiver Dance. Yeah, I think that'd be fine. Because if Lele goes for the Protect, I get a Quiver Dance off, I should be able to live anything other than maybe a Life Orb or Z-Move Psychic. I think it's Z-Psychic on the Lele. That's what I would expect here. I could also Giga Drain Leaf Blade this Suicune, but I'm a little bit worried about a Showered Psyche. I don't know if Showered Psyche knocks out Kartana though. I don't think it does. I think I will Quiver Dance though, and Smart Strike. I feel like it's a safer play here, because I just don't want to risk anything. I know the Kartana's going to be faster than the Suicune at least. If I Quiver Dance here, I think I'm in a good spot because of the fact that my opponent can't knock out Volcarona with one attack. And I do threaten the Lele with Smart Strike. And actually, it's a really slow Lele. So, Smart Strike actually is going to come out to top of Lele and finish it off. And that should just be game, because I think Kartana wraps it up. Which makes sense. I had a hunch it might have been a slower Lele because of the fact my opponent didn't stay in with the Lele turn 1 and just fire for Showered Psyche. So, Scald going to come out here into this Kartana. Even if you burn, I think it's fine, because I'd be able to get a Giga Drain and a +1 Leaf Blade. Even burn should finish off the Suicune. Well, +2 Giga Drain, actually. So yeah, I'll just be able to finish off with a Giga Drain Leaf Blade. So this game could have went completely differently because of the fact that there was that threat from the Lele turn 1. But thanks to it being a slow Lele, I was able to just get a lot of damage off into the Incineroar. Getting rid of the Incineroar allowed my Volcarona to do well in this game, as well as my Kartana, which I thought would be set up for the end game, or Scarflanders potentially. I thought Scarflanders with Rock Slide could have also done really well in the back. I just had to weaken my opponent's team, I felt like, and stall out the speed controls correctly. And then I'd have to knock out the Zapdos threat. I couldn't let Zapdos really freely roost without being able to pick up the knockout or getting a lot of damage on it. So no matter what, I felt like it was pretty good. Although, again, if it was a faster Lele, it could have definitely been a more difficult game. So nice, able to pick up a win for the first game. Also didn't expect Kartana to outspeed too. My opponent's team was really relying on speed control. And it was interesting to see the Suicune Scald, Icy Wind, Roar, and Protect, as we find a second opponent for the United States, 1691, with, oh boy, Politoed, Seismitoad, Rain, with Tapu Koko, Incineroar, Gardevoir, and Amoonguss. I actually really like to look at this team. I really do. Not from my perspective though, because I struggle with it, but I do have AV Kartana, which really does help. I do have a I think Kangaskhan plus my Kartana does really well in this matchup. I think that's going to be the main keys of winning this game, as well as what's ironic is I think my Scarflanders is also pretty good here. Also, Volcarona is decent here if I get a Quiver Dance off. Wonder what my opponent's going to bring. I don't even think you have to bring the Rain mode. I could see the Gardevoir, Incineroar, Koko, and Amoonguss combo. So let's see. I do want Kangaskhan, I want Kartana, I want Landorus, and the question is, do I want Feeny or do I want Volcarona? I'm not really that troubled by the Amoonguss, and my opponent... I feel like Feeny's better because of the water resist, just in case. Volcarona is better for the fairy resist, because Gardevoir could be a little bit troublesome to switch into. I don't like Thundurus in this game. I don't feel like it does too much. I think I want to go Feeny though. I think Feeny needs some shine in this action. So let's bring Tapu Fini. I think Feeny can do really well, especially if I get one Calm Mind up, because my opponent doesn't really appreciate Calm Mind Feeny. So let's see how this is going to go. I do feel like that the stars of this game will be the Kartana. Endgame Feeny can do a lot of work, and Landorus can do really well at just, switching into the Koko and the Incineroar. So Kangaskhan plus Kartana coming out against Koko Gardevoir. This is pretty good for me. This is pretty good for me. As Trace gonna be my Scrappy. Okay. So I could just fake out the Koko, go for the Smart Strike in the Gardevoir. I think that is a very viable play that I do have, and really I just don't see a reason not to. I could see Incineroar switching out for Gardevoir, which I might want to consider, but I could also see the Koko switching out into the Incineroar. I do feel like both are very viable plays here. I think the question is, do I want to anticipate that right away? I think if Koko switches out into the Incineroar, you know what? I'll go. Is it worth risking turn one? I really feel like that one's going to switch into Incineroar. I think Koko's going to switch out. But no, they stay in with both. Okay, that's great. Maybe it's a double protect. Double protect would be great for me either way. So I guess I won't mind this trade. I'm so glad because I almost Sacred Sworded a Koko. It looks like my Kangaskhan's going to be faster than this Gardevoir, at least right now. So I'm pretty sure that means my Kangaskhan should outspeed this Gardevoir naturally, which would make a lot of sense. My opponent doesn't protect with either, no switch into Incineroar. So a Smart Strike going to come out into this Gardevoir. I mean, that's going to do a lot of damage. Probably pick up the knockout, I would assume. It's Animate Smart Strike. Yeah, Gardevoir goes down turn 1. I'm really surprised about that. So I do get rid of Gardevoir turn 1. Fantastic for me. As, yeah, like I got a lot of damage on Koko. I put in range of -1 Earthquake. That's pretty good. And Incineroar is going to come out. Alright by me. Alright by me. Double Edge would knock out the Koko. I mean, I would assume it's Life Orb, because Zemu's probably on Seismitoad, or it could be Zemu Koko. I could definitely see Zemu Koko on this team. I think I just want to double edge the Koko slot. Go on a Landorus seems like a very safe play here. Even if Kangaskhan goes down, I get to bring in my Feeny. So not really a big deal. Also want to put this Koko in endgame range for Scarf Superpower, so I don't have to keep Earthquaking myself. And that should be really good for my Feeny in the back. So let's see what my opponent's going to go for. Going to be that Z move coming out straight away. No fake out. So this might be just Gigavolt Havoc into Koko. And I mean Gigavolt Havoc into Kangaskhan and a Flare Blitz, I think. I think that's what my opponent's going to go for. Yeah, because Gigavolt Havoc does connect. So it's going to go into Kangaskhan. I'm not sure mine survives. I do have good amount of bulk. I think it might be a roll. Unless it's Z Thunder. It could be Z Thunder, which I think Den would probably knock out Kangaskhan. I think that is Z Thunder. Okay. The Kangaskhan gets knocked out. We go for Flare Blitz coming out. To Landorus. No Burn, which looks pretty good. I can bring out my Feeny here. And what can my opponent potentially have in the back? A Amoonguss, I guess? I think that's the only thing that could really save my opponent right now. I think Amoonguss is the only thing that can really save my opponent right now. What do I want to do? I could Moonblast Earthquake here. I could Calm Mind here if I really want to. Let's go for the Moonblast and Earthquake. I could protect Earthquake, but I do just want to get momentum by just going for the Earthquake right here. Incineroars don't usually carry Protect, so I feel like I could maybe knock out the Incineroar here potentially. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about my position. We're actually going to see the Incineroar retreat here into the Amoonguss. So Amoonguss does come out from my opponent, which is okay for me. as Coco protects. Okay. What if my opponent knows I'm Scarf? So Earthquake my own Feeny. It's gonna hurt a bit. It hurts a bit. I don't feel like it's too bad though. Because now I could probably just Earthquake Muddy Water here. It covers the Incineroar coming in, and it also knocks out the Coco regardless. So I think I'm just going to Earthquake Muddy Water, because if Incineroar comes in, Intimidate's going to come out. I get rid of the only threat to my Kartana in the back. And as long as Thunder doesn't do something crazy like paralyze my Kartana, I think I should have this game sealed up. So we'll go for the Earthquake and a Muddy Water, because we do want to catch this Incineroar on the switch in. So Earthquake going to come out. That should be Muddy Water range. And if I connect, that should be game. It just knocks out. I'm pretty sure this should knock out, and if it's not, it's probably a Berry Incineroar. Yeah, I mean Assault Vest Incineroar. We do knock out the Incineroar though. Even get the accuracy drop on Amoonguss. That's just like a little bit extra. I'm pretty sure that we should just win with the game with the Kartana at this point. We do see that the Berry will activate on the Amoonguss right here, as it is going to reveal a Weaky Berry, and Spore is going to come out. Ooh, my Landorus avoids. Very unfortunate. Although I don't think it really matters in the end game, because I feel like my Kartana does win this end game, as I said before. So I'm just going to Calm Mind here in Earthquake. Again, I felt like I had this end game sealed up. I'm just going to Earthquake and Calm Mind here. The only difference is I get a free Calm Mind and you Spore here, and I guess I activate my Bears. But either way, like Gleam was not going to knock out Feeny, and no matter what, my Kartana will still win as long as no ridiculous amount of luck happens. So, Earthquake going to come out. Nice, we get my Berry back. As I said before, we should have this game sealed up by just going for a home. We have the game sealed up with Kartana, basically. There's not much I can say. Unless Thunder paralyzes me into full para, Thunderbolt paras me into full para, because I don't think Thunder would knock out my Kartana unless it's a HP Fire. My opponent misses the Spore. Again, I do have AV. I don't think you have HP Fire on this Coco. I really just don't. Might as well just protect her. Difference, I think. You're gonna go for the double. You fail. That should be game then. But again, I'm pretty sure Kartana won the game unless it was an HP Fire Coco, which I just really can't see it being on this team, because I feel like Volt Switch is necessary for the Charizard matchup, because this seems really weak to Charizard. I feel like without Volt Switch, and you would probably have Gleam. I don't feel like you would run HP Fire over Gleam. You hit a Spore finally, but no matter what, again, I think Kartana won the game unless it was HP Fire on the Amoonguss. Maybe Foul Play could have done it for the Amoonguss, but even then, I feel like if I had Feeny next to Kartana, I still would have been able to seal up the game regardless. And you would have probably been forced. So I'll just switch it. Let's go on Kartana. As I said before, I still think that the AV on the Kartana sealed up this game no matter what in the end. So we do end up picking 2 wins. I think I'll go for one more game, because this has been pretty short of an episode so far. So I think I'll go for one more game, and hopefully it'll be a quick game. But yeah, as I said before, really surprised just my opponent allowed me to get the KO onto the Gardevoir turn 1, like risked it. Like if I was Z-move, it could have been really bad. I guess maybe my opponent was worried about a Tailwind Kartana, because Tailwind Kartana I guess could have, like, if my opponent double protected and I fake out Tailwind, I guess my opponent could have been in a bad spot. But I feel like Incineroar does cover that, even if I do Tailwind. So yeah, it's just surprising that my opponent gave me the Gardevoir turn 1. Maybe my opponent expected me to expect the Incineroar switch in, because that could have definitely been a possibility. Again, I was really thinking about maybe calling the Incineroar coming in for one of the slots and the protect there, but I felt like it wasn't necessary, because even if you do that, like, one, if it's a Incineroar next to a Coco, I have a Landorus as a switch in, and I think Landorus is a really good switch in over there. And then if Gardevoir comes next to Incineroar, I guess I can retreat out into my Feeny and get either a double edge off, or if I really want to predict, go for another Smart Strike for damage, puts the Gardevoir in range of potential Muddy Water, or if it's the double edge, a -1 double edge, -1 double edge into -1 Sucker Punch into Muddy Water should be able to finish off the Gardevoir. As we find a really interesting team for the last one. Kangaskhan, Gothitelle, Incineroar, Tapu Bulu, Primarina, and Crabominable. I cannot pronounce Crabominable. I cannot pronounce it. I'm not gonna try to. I'm not gonna try to. Alright, it looks like it's gonna be another one of those. Oh boy. I am a little bit scared. The crab is really scary. How do I deny trick? That's the question. I think I want to go Kang. Maybe Kang Volk is good. Heart. And there's I'm trying to think because my opponent, if you bring double fake out with Kangaskhan and Incineroar next to Gothitelle, you're always gonna have fake out pressure, I think, because you might switch out to Kangaskhan. Like you might lead like one of your fake out users plus Gothitelle, protect Gothitelle, switch in another fake out user, and then get Trick Room up, and then I'm gonna have a bit of trouble stopping it. So let's see what comes out for my opponent here. Gonna be really difficult to win this game, that's for sure. I am a pretty slow Kangaskhan, so I guess that is something that's worth a value. If you do lead like a fake out user into the fake out Goth, I will double up the, I think, yeah, Kangaskhan plus Gothitelle. So Kangaskhan Volcorona. If you do have Incineroar, your best play is just to switch out into the Incineroar and protect right here. I feel like you don't risk anything. So I am gonna low kick the Kangaskhan slot and Quiver Dance right here because that's the best thing I can do. We'll see what my opponent decides to do, but I think that would be my opponent's safest play if you have the option, or if my opponent didn't bring Incineroar. I guess it gets a little bit tricky because I could fake out the Gothitelle potentially, Quiver Dance, which my opponent wouldn't be in a good spot. Yep, we're gonna see Kangaskhan retreat. That should be Incineroar. Yep. And that should be Gothitelle protecting. So I do call this right. I'm pretty sure, unless the Gothitelle decides to not protect you. Which would actually be, I think, smart because, well, unless I'm like a random buggy MZ on the Gothitelle, I think there's no way I could really finish off the Gothitelle without a double up. So let's see here. Yep, Gothitelle protects. So basically, what I scripted turn 1, I will be able to get a Quiver Dance off with my Volcorona and go for the low kicks. So turn 1 exactly how I expected, but still tricky. I do get the ability to knock out Gothitelle in the future turns though. Low kick doesn't do too much, unfortunately. I don't think Double Edge would pick up the knockout either. I will go for a... I really wonder what kind of Incineroar it is. I am going to attempt to Z the Gothitelle, but we are probably going to see Fake Out and Trick Room. Again, I might have got the play right, but it's still a tricky position. Fake Out going to go in it. Bulk. If this is AV Incineroar, I'm still in a pretty decent spot, I think. But if it's Berry, yeah, it's Berry, okay. Gonna come down to some factors. We are going to see what come out from the Gothitelle. Trick Room, yep. So now I have to stall out Trick Room turns effectively. I also have to weaken the Gothitelle at some point, because if I weaken the Gothitelle, or if I get rid of Incineroar, I think my Kartana does really well in this matchup. So I will low kick and protect, I think. Yeah, I don't, because I'm worried about helping hand Flare Blitz. Gothitelle's actually gonna, okay. I wonder if this Gothitelle actually carries an attacking move. That's my main question. Attacked from the Volcorona. U-turn coming out into Volk. That's an interesting U-turn. Low kick gonna come out into the Incineroar. Huh. Really interesting there. Okay. I'm gonna attempt a double edge here because I might be able to catch a switch in. I don't know what might be coming in though, and I will go for the Inferno Overdrive into the Gothitelle slot. I feel like if you had Psyshock, you would have went for Psyshock Flare Blitz. We're gonna see the Gothitelle switch out though, so somebody's taking Inferno Overdrive. Kangaskhan does not want to take an Inferno Overdrive. As Flare Blitz is gonna come out, I don't feel like this knocks out my Volk. Yeah, it doesn't. Nice. So I'm able to get 2 knockouts here, but my opponent still has Trick Room up. So still a little bit tricky as we do knock out the Incineroar right there. I wonder if this Gothitelle doesn't have Helping Hand. I feel like it would on this team. Now I'll be able to knock out the Kangaskhan. So not too bad of a turn. Not the greatest turn, however. If I get 1 Double Edge into Gothitelle, I should put it in range of a knockoff from my Kartana, since it does have its berry. So I do get rid of the Incineroar, the main threat to my Kartana, and I will be able to get rid of Kangaskhan, which is always big damage output. So nice, yet I still don't feel like I'm in the most comfortable spot. Let's see what my opponent's going to bring out here. I think it's going to be, well, it's Gothitelle and then Marina? Or maybe Bulu. It might be Bulu. Oh, it's the crab. Okay, we get to see the crab. And I don't know. The crab is interesting here, especially since we don't know what it's supposed to do here. 2 turns of Trick Room left. I wonder if it's worth just to double edge. I might as well just protect here. I don't see a reason not to protect here. Because even if Crab goes for like a superpower or something, I think that's okay here. We're going to see the Rock Slide actually. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to see the Rock Slide come out into the Kangaskhan. Let's see what this Gothitelle goes for. Life Orb Crab, which is interesting. Psychic. So it did have Psychic. I'm really surprised my opponent didn't just try to get rid of the Volcorona then. Double Edge will come out into the Goth. Oh, that does massive damage. Like, that did massive damage. I mean, I'll try for a double. I think I do win in the back with my Landorus plus my Kartana. So either way, and if I get the double, I did get the double. So I think I would have been fine regardless. So that's really nice for me. Ice Hammer actually comes out. Psychic into Kang. I wonder if this knocks out. It does knock out Kangaskhan. Then again, I was a little bit lower than I expected. But either way, I feel like I would have won this game regardless. Because I get to go into Kartana here. And now I get to click Flamethrower in the Crab. Go for the knockoff in the Gothitelle. That will be able to 100% win the game. Actually, there could be an ally switch. Well, even if there's an ally switch, I'd probably knock out the Gothitelle. And Crab can only knock out one of my Pokemon. So I think I'd be still fine. But either way, even if I didn't get the double right and I went into Landorus right there. Let's say I went into Landorus right there. As Gothitelle protects, Crab doesn't protect, so I will be able to knock out with Flamethrower and that'll be game. But even if, let's say, I go out into... If Volcorona gets knocked out because I didn't get the double, I get Landorus next to Kartana in. I can click U-turn into the Gothitelle slot. And I'd be able to click Smart Strike. I think I could double up the Goth if I really want to, in case of an ally switch. Yeah, I think that would be the play there. I guess it could be like, really, do I predict the ally switch or do I predict the protect? So I think I've been fine depending on what my opponent does. If there's no ally switch, I think I'd be able to win the game if I Smart Strike the Crab. I think it comes down to ally switch mine actually. But yeah, that would be game. As we will be able to win 3 games in today's episode. Again, it was like a storybook that I was able to read. I think the turn 1 and turn 2 basically, it's exactly how I anticipated. The rest of the turns didn't exactly go out as planned because I really didn't think my opponent would go for a U-turn, turn 3, and I really didn't expect Gothitelle to switch out when Psychic and the Flare Blitz would have been able to finish off. I guess maybe one thing is if the Incineroar is slower than my Volcorona, you might be worried about Flare Blitz into Volcorona activating Berry potentially, and then Psychic wouldn't be able to knock out, and then maybe a Bug Buzz come out from Volcorona, which I guess does make sense because that could have been the worst potential possibility for my opponent because the +1 Bug Buzz should be able to knock out Volcorona. I mean, knock out the Gothitelle from Volcorona. So I guess maybe my opponent was afraid of that, which makes sense for why my opponent didn't double target, but able to pick up 3 wins in today's episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. If you did like it, please would like down below, show support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social medias, the side series on my channel, all that good stuff will be linked down below. And of course, if you do want to try out this team, there is a pay spin of it down below. Feel free to leave a comment as I do read them. Feel free to Follow my Twitch channel and my Twitter if you want updates on newest videos, my live streams, and of course, I do live stream quite often, so highly recommend hitting up my Twitch channel, especially since I'm actually getting closer and closer to the requirements and partnerships. Like, I'm actually really close. So if you want more VGC action and you want to watch more than just back-to-back battles, hit up my live streams. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Have a great day, people, and until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.